Greetings. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, greetings, hi. If not, thank you for coming back. I feel like I'm not going to address how long it's been since I posted a video. We're just going to skip that part and jump right into the video. And today's video topic is things that I no longer do or no longer believe in now that I am an emotionally independent person, or rather a more emotionally independent person. I believe we're always on a journey, so there's always more to learn. And I'm going to jump straight into it. Today's quote of the day is, your growth is directly proportional to the amount of truth you can handle about yourself without running away. I'm going to say it again just for like dramatic effect. You know what I'm saying? Your growth is directly proportional to the amount of truth you can handle about yourself without running away. Point number one in things I no longer do now that I am a more emotionally independent person is that I used to be addicted to chaos. Now, if you are a person who is addicted to chaos, it means that you are dependent on cortisol and adrenaline. These are hormones in your body that are released when you are in a fight or flight kind of situation, whether that is emotionally or physically. You're addicted to the chaos that comes with certain situations, relationships. For me, it was mostly relationships in your life, and that raises these stressful hormones in your body, and that is what you use to drive you into action of some sort. In short, when you are not in fight or flight, you do not want to have hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline being high in your body, because you can easily become addicted to them. When you are addicted to these kinds of hormones, you become dependent on chaos, which trigger these hormones in your body in order to motivate you, whether that's in your relationships, whether that's for work, whatever it is in life. Now, how I figured this out is that I'm a really academically inclined person. I've always been that way. There's a part of me that just loves that kind of validation. And what would happen was I would put myself in situations where the people around me needed to be saved, or I would be in some sort of chaotic situation, and this adrenaline rush would cause me to do really well in school, because now that I'm really hyped up on this, I can stay up all night and study all night and make sure, that I'm using these hormones to actually drive me to do other things. And so it was like a feedback loop where things that would happen externally would be the driving force for me to achieve, and it wasn't coming from an internal place. And so being addicted to chaotic situations means you are addicted to an adrenaline rush, and it doesn't matter what that looks like for you. It just means it's really unhealthy, because your body is going to get burnt out and worn out from being in a constant state of fight or flight. You cannot have these hormones that help you survive available to you on a consistent basis, or they will make you sick. Point number two in things I no longer do or believe in as an emotionally independent person is I no longer believe that I need to be a martyr. Being a person who wants to come into relationships as an already whole and independent person, I believe you have to ask yourself one question. Will you choose comfort and resentment, or will you choose discomfort and freedom? Comfort and resentment, or discomfort and freedom? For a long time, I used to be a martyr. I used to enjoy saving people from chaotic situations that they had put themselves in. Not enjoyed, but you know what I mean. I used to thrive on that. And then I would resent those people later on for putting me in situations where I had to save them. But reality is that I just couldn't say no, and I had no boundaries. And what was happening is that I was just overextending myself on purpose, maybe subconsciously at the time, not knowing that I was getting something out of that resentment. It was more comfortable for me to just go ahead and say yes and continue to show up despite having very few emotional resources in my life, emotional and physical resources, to go and save those people and then resenting them later. I was getting like a kind of, I hate to say it, but I was getting like a God complex from it. But in order for you to set yourself free, you're going to have to choose to show up and do the uncomfortable thing. So what will you choose, you know? Point number 3 is that I stopped focusing on intensity and started to focus on consistency. The truth is that when things are intense all the time, your nervous system is not regulated and you are not acting from a place of calm, relaxation, alignment, and purpose. You're often acting from a place of desperation, fight or flight. Having your nervous system dysregulated is not a way you consistently want to live. It's quite frankly just bad for you. And now that I'm a little bit older, I know that I'm a person who tends to lean towards extremes, right? Things being black or white, things being all or nothing. And I think we all struggle with this in some sort of category in our lives. However, if you want to see progress and results in your life, you need to focus on consistency, not intensity. That's with anything: weight loss, exercise, growing in your career, growing on your YouTube channel. I don't know, I'm a knitter, I enjoy knitting. If you just knit consistently for a really long time, you'll get better. Projects still take me a long time to finish, but if I try and stay up all night to finish a knitting project and burn out, I can't then knit for a few more days because I'm so tired. But if I knit a little bit every day for a really long time, I have a really great product and it looks good. So I know that's a weird example, just using examples from my life, but intensity is not the way to go. Focus on consistency over intensity. Number 4 is that I stopped expecting people to read my mind. I don't think that if they wanted to, they would, is a mature or reasonable thing to say about most things or most people. Because how many times have you wanted to do something, knowing it's good for you, knowing you had to do it, knowing it was the right thing to do, and still didn't do it, you know? The truth is, you need to be able to take care of your own basic needs before anyone else is able to take care of your basic needs for you. Why? Because you're an adult person, and being able to take care of your basic needs is the right and adult thing to do. What happens if you get married one day and the person, they die? People die. It's not always about divorce or the worst possible case scenario. You need to be able to take care of yourself. Being able to advocate for what you want and what you need requires a certain level of vulnerability beyond what you can do for yourself, which means you need to stop expecting people to just know what you need and start asking for what you need. And it's also okay, teaching yourself it's okay that if people cannot meet those needs because it's beyond what they are able to offer you, that is also okay, because we have free will and we are not beholden to each other in a way where it's detrimental to ourselves. Although, okay, this is going to make this video a little longer, but I must say it. The caveat here is that when you are building a community and learning to function within a community, because we need each other, you need to let people inconvenience you. So there is a little bit of nuance to this conversation, but it kind of goes beyond the scope of this video. Hey guys, Editing Nonny here. My video seems to have disappeared, but the sound is still intact. So please enjoy these wonderful nature visuals while you listen to the sound of my voice for a few minutes, but my face does reappear soon thereafter. Love you. Point number 5 in things I stopped doing or stopped believing in as an emotionally independent person is that above and beyond is a place I no longer go to. I no longer do that because what was happening is that I became dependent on the validation of others that I would get for going above and beyond at my own detriment, right? I was then low in energy, couldn't show up for myself because I was above and beyonding all over the show for everybody else. But that validation really drove me to stretch myself beyond my own physical and emotional resources. Above and beyond, you do want to go there when you have a specific goal, like maybe you're climbing up a specific ladder, but it can't be to the point where you make yourself ill or burn out. And that's what I was doing, and I realized to no avail. Nobody wins when you go above and beyond. I had to ask myself where I learned that going above and beyond is the only way to show up for other people or to progress my career, or I don't want to live a life that is harmful to me. I get to enjoy my life, and unfortunately that means that if I don't want to resent people and if I don't want to hate my life, I cannot be pouring from a consistently empty cup. Point number 6 is that I don't know how this is going to sound, but as a woman, I believe that we have been socialized, in the general broader sense, to be really self-sacrificial and giving all the time. But as I become older, I realize that I am the altar, I'm not the sacrifice. Yes, I may not want to have kids, but I have the life-giving force inside of me. No one comes into this world without a woman. No one flourishes without this certain level of femininity. Take this with a grain of salt, because me, I'm not really about the feminine, masculine stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that seeing myself as the altar and not the sacrifice has allowed me to worship myself and my spirit and my true inner being in a way that brings so much joy into my life. Like, I'm a flower, okay? And the truth is that sometimes we give until we're empty because we're dependent on the validation of others for our worthiness. And that's no longer anything that I will be signed up for. Thanks for being here. If you made it to the end of the video, you know what to do. You need to post 3 of your favorite emojis. I have been loving, it's been raining a lot in Johannesburg, South Africa, but like in a weird way. So I've been using the emoji with like the rainy clouds and the sun coming out a little bit. So that's been one of my top few. And then the little, it's like green. It's like a little grass, like a little seedling or something coming out of the ground. Those are my top 2. Throw in a little rainbow and I am a happy woman. So comment your top 3 favorite emojis if you got to the end of the video, and I'll see you at the next one. I promise it won't be in a few months. Mwah.